Hello everyone and welcome to my corner of the world. Welcome to September's stamp set of the month. This is my virtual class. This is the card we're making in this video, and this month our stamp set is awesomely artistic. Lots of lovely images with the flower, the dragonfly, and I just love these splodgy dots over here. And so along in your packets you will have the following supplies for this card. Okay, there's a base card which is in Lost Lagoon, and then you've got 3 layers. 2 in Whisper White and 1 in Pink Pirouette. And you just need to make sure that you use the right ones. You'll find that there's one white that's slightly larger than the other. So the larger piece is for the inside of the card, and the smaller piece is one of your layers for the front. You'll also have a length of a silver satin ribbon, 2 labels, 1 to practice on and 1 to use. Then this is going to be the background piece for your labels. Then you've got a hello, and then a length of the absolutely gorgeous and delicious silver metallic thread. So we're going to start with our stamping, and I'm going to be using the smaller piece first, so make sure you've got that. We're also using the flowery stamp, and I'm using the Memento black ink. You can use the archival ink, it works just as well. It's just that this was the one that happened to come to hand first. So I'm going to put 1 to the top. I don't think there's a right or a wrong way for this particular stamp. I think it works whichever direction that you want to put it in. And then another one down to the bottom here. And now I'm going to fill in my gaps, and I'm going to be using the Old Olive along with the lovely splodgy stamp that I was talking about earlier. And I don't want a very heavy ink colour here, so I'm just going to use a scrap of paper, and I'm going to stamp off, and then I'm just going to put a couple of sets of splodges down. And I think I'm also going to, while I've got the green on my inside layer, I'm just going to put those in as well. There we go. Clean off my stamp. And then I'm going to use the Pink Pirouette. Now, Pink Pirouette is a very pale colour, so I am not going to bother stamping off at all. I'm just going to use the ink colour full strength, and I'm just going to work a little bit of extra. Let's see, pop one round about there. Lovely. Then with my stamp that's the circle, I'm going to just pop 1 of those up there in the Pink Pirouette and 1 down here, and I think I'll do the same for the inside of my card as well. So that's that. And then I think the only thing that we've left to do is we have the larger fern, and I'm just going to fill in the gaps. Just bring it round and fill in my gaps like that. So that's that stamped there. And then with the label shapes and the friend, as I say, I've given you 2, 1 to practice, 1 to do. You can just pop that in the middle like that, and well, that's a weeny bit off, so we'll just try it again. much better. Must make sure I use the right side of that when I come to assemble my card. Okay, so those are our pieces. I'm going to get my inks out the way so I don't end up putting a piece of card in or my elbow in it. Now, with my card here, I actually coloured in my flowers. I'm not going to sit there and do that, but what I've got here are some Stampin' markers. You can use these, as I said earlier, with the pink pirouette. It's such a pale colour, you can use it full strength. And I've got the Old Olive here, and use it full strength from there, or go back to get a little something to put your ink on and use a blender pen, and you can get a lighter effect with your blender pen. If you don't have the Stampin' markers but you do have your stamp pads, just squeeze the top down and that will give you some ink here, and you'll be able to pull some ink with your blender pen, and you'll be able to continue to complete those. So that's Old Olive and Pink Pirouette. And then I did use the Calypso Coral pen to just do the center of my flowers, just to give them a little bit more of a pop. So that's colouring in your card, and you're just going to clean your pen, a blender pen, by just rubbing it gently, the side of it, until it runs clear, and then make sure you put the cap firmly back on so that it doesn't dry out. So once you've got all your colouring done, clear myself a bit of space here, I'm getting a bit cluttered. We're going to use some snail to attach the base card, the front layer to your pink pirouette layer, like that. And then we're going to put the fold in on the card base, and we're just going to use some snail to hold that in place. And then we're just going to use a little more snail to attach the insert, so there's something to write on inside. So that's the card assembled. So now we're just going to work the embellishments. So this is the friend piece, and then this is going to make your background. So you're just going to take that and just cut it in half like that, and then if you work on a silicone mat, it makes it a lot easier. Some snail adhesive, and I'm just going to line that up just so that it pokes out at the end to make it look like it's got a layer like that. Okay, so we've got a gap in the middle, but that's not going to show once we've got everything together. And then we've got our piece of ribbon, and I'm going to use a glue dot to stick it in half, and I'm just going to offset it like that so that it looks a little bit more natural. And then with my ribbon scissors, I'm just going to cut some little pointy bits like that. And then with this lovely metallic thread, I'm going to move that out the way so I've got some working room. Alrighty, I'm going to put a glue dot on the back of my label here, and with my metallic thread, wind it a couple of 3 times around my fingers, and then I'm just going to put it on that glue dot like that. And then I'm just going to put my piece of ribbon behind it like that, pressing it firmly down to keep it all together. And then with my dimensionals, which have disappeared, but we'll use some of these, a dimensional on either end. Like that. And so I don't get overcrowded, I am going to be seeing where my hello is going to go, and then I'm going to pop that like that. There we go. And you might want to trim these extra little pieces off the end, it's entirely up to you. And then with the hello, looks like I managed to get it stuck underneath there. That was clever. There we go. Now I'm going to be using the new Stampin' Up liquid glue, and it's got the most fabulous fine tip for this kind of work. If you don't have it at the moment, you want to think about adding it to your order. And you only just want to put dots, and you don't want to put too much pressure on this because gravity allows it to fall out of the tip. And as I say, just a few dots. And then when you've finished, just put the cap back on, making sure that you get the pin down the tube. And then I'm just going to flip this over and then lay it, and just tuck part of it underneath, and just gently press down to make sure that the adhesive flows from underneath the piece of cardstock like that. And there we have it. So I will go back in a few moments and finish colouring in my flowers, because it certainly does make a huge difference to them, to have that colour in there. But along with this video, you've got your menus, your recipes, which explains how to make these cards. So hopefully that will work for you, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. There are 3 other cards in this series which are labelled Awesomely Artistic, and I will look forward to seeing you at the next one. Thank you, and bye for now.